Chelsea then not in the top four, according to Ian Craig, because of concerns about the new players gelling.
No, and listen, it is a bit of a we don't know. The one thing we do know, the players they've brought in are quality, whether it be younger players like Havertz, and I mean Werner's not an old guy, early 20s. We know about Pulisic's form in recent months. We know about Ziyech's ability. The returning players that were fit and injured at the start of last season, like Hudson-Odoi and Loftus-Cheek, they're probably going to sign a goalkeeper. There's lots of reports about that. Thiago Silva, I think, is a great signing short term. And then you've got Chilwell in there. So I think in terms of the squad, in terms of if they're under pressure, he can go to the well, Frank Lampard, and look around and pluck quite a few up to go in the team. They've got a lot of choices. Now, that might be the difficulty, and we'll have to see. And both him and Solskjaer are in the same shoes, whether they can really muster up the ability to take a challenge to the top two. That remains to be seen. We can't question, Guardiola and Klopp at the top in the sense that they've done it all. But certainly in the chase and pack, you've got Arteta at Arsenal, who's inexperienced, albeit he's got an FA Cup. You've got Lampard, who's had one Premier League season experience at Chelsea. You've got Solskjaer, who's got more experience in management, but 18 months to 2 years at United. So we just really don't know what's going to happen there. But I think from Chelsea's perspective, they look to have enough going forward that if a game's going against them, they can make some good changes off the bench.
Shaq?
Listen, I totally agree. We don't know how well all these players coming in will gel. But the truth is, they're that talented. They don't have to gel that well to finish third. If they gel seamlessly and it goes perfectly, and all those players play to the level that we know they can, then all of a sudden we're talking about Liverpool and City having an issue. I don't think that'll be the case. Just as I don't think it'll be the case that they don't gel at all and somehow they finish outside the top four. I think it falls somewhere in the middle. I like exactly what Frank Lampard did all of last season in his first season as a Premier League manager. Had to make some brave decisions, had to endure poor form, rode his luck at times. But I think it's all starting to come together for Frank as a manager and for Chelsea as a team. I see them finishing third.
Dan, just before we go to Ian, I think to go back to Ian's point about Chelsea defensively, and they were bad last year. There's no doubt about it. And he can maybe... Lampard himself can throw out, the goalkeeper, it was a nightmare, kept having to change, and Christensen didn't have a great season, neither did Rudiger, and I had two right backs and I was rotating, I had two left backs I was rotating, and I went to a back three. He can use all that. But I think, arguably for me, more important than fitting all these excellent chess pieces in the attacking third, I don't think that's the most important thing. I think the most important thing for him is to get a back four and stick with it and work with it and get a solid base for those talented players to go and operate. Because he chopped and changed so many times last year, they didn't know if they were coming or going. Now, I know it was down to form and fitness some of the times, but I think for them to have success, they're going to have to get Chilwell in here, Thiago Silva in there, it'll probably be Rudiger next to him, and Azpilicueta right back. And if they have a bad game, they have a bad game. But stick with it. Work with that back four, if that's his back four he's going to go with. Make sure that's a solid unit, and then fit all the other pieces in front. I think if he can't do that, they'll struggle.
Meanwhile, Ian...
To that point, sorry, Dan, to that point Craig was just making, I have a feeling I'm gonna live to regret this. I think Rudiger's an incredibly talented defender. I just think he's a leader. And having to lead at the back for Chelsea, I think cost him in terms of his form. Thiago Silva coming on now takes that off of his plate. You see the best of Rudiger as a result. Rudiger and Chelsea much improved defensively.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.